How many of you guys ride bicycles? Have any of you had a flat tire?
Yeah.
Well, either way, today I'm going to teach you how to fix a flat tire. Everything I need is right here. I need my tire, which is somewhat flat, a patch kit. You can find these at Walmart for $3 to $15. You'll get different stuff in it, the more money you pay. And if you want it pumped up, you're going to need to bring a hand pump as well. Now, the first thing I need to do, I need to open up my patch kit and pull out these two little red pry bars. Use these to get the tire off of the rim. If you don't know, there's a tube inside that is actually damaged. That's why your tire is flat. What you need to do, you need to stick it in, which, depending on how inflated your tire is, can be a little challenging. And you stick it in and hook it on to one of the what are they called? Spokes. I need to hook it on one of the spokes. Then I need to put my other hook in so I can take the tire off. But it's a little harder than I thought. Alright. Now that I've got it in, I can take it off. Now I'm going to take the second hook, I'm going to stick it in. If it would actually work. I'm going to try the other side. So, some sides are rougher than the others because it's not symmetrical on both sides. So one side's easier to get off, the other side is a bit harder. Stick it in, hook it, and hold it so it doesn't pop off. Because if you go across, you don't hold it, it could pop off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my arm out straight. I'm going to go across like this. Now the tire's popping off. Once the tire is off, I can get to the tube. Now you might rip off some of the rubber. That's fine. It's just having this damage a little bit is better than not having a tire at all. Now that the rim is off, or now that the tire is off, you can actually see the tube on the inside. Now to get it out, you need to take the valve stem, push it up through this hole, and then pull on it. Make sure you don't take the rubber lining on the inside out as well. I almost just did. If you take that out, the spokes will pop the tire once you put it back in. Now you're going to see some little dark patches on it. That's because I practiced patching it already. Alright, now we've got the tube out. Now usually this will be losing air, but since I didn't pop it yet, which I am going to pop it, if I don't get this fixed, I don't have a ride home. So, I better get this fixed. Now when you're usually riding, you won't know where the hole is. I know where the hole is because I just popped it, but first step you want to do is you're going to want to take your hand and run it on the inside. Feel for anything that's sharp or maybe stuck in the rubber. You don't have to worry about poking yourself because the rubber's so thick that only a tiny little bit of the point will be there. If you don't check, you might have to be on the side of the road fixing your tire again. Now, I know two ways to find a hole. One way is to fill it up with your air pump and put it in water, look for air bubbles. Another way, if you have soapy water, is to spray it down with and look for air bubbles. But you need to inflate the tire so that it will leak. Now, before you can put the adhesive on, you need to drain the tire. Keep your thumb where the hole is and put something flat and pointy in here. You need to deflate it so you can put your patch kit on it. Because if you don't deflate it, there will be an air bubble and it'll make the little sticker looking thing come back out. So then, after you've got it deflated, and you know where your hole is, you take this little scraper, piece of metal. You use this to mark the tire, to scratch it up, so the adhesive pad will stick better. Then, once it's scraped up a little bit, you can take one of these. I've used a bunch of them so far, but you can take them. They're really sticky, so you want to make sure that you know where your hole is when you do this. and you put it down. You need to hold this down for 1 minute so adhesives can stick. And during this minute, I'm going to tell you other ways that you can fix it. You could either A, buy a new tube and ask a professional to do it, or you can also use this gel thing. It's where you just go to the valve stem and you squeeze it in, and the glue goes on the inside, so then all you need to do is reinflate it. There are multiple ways to do this, but I'm just doing it this way because this is the patch kit that I got. This is on the cheaper end of patch kits that you can get. It's like $5. It came with a hand pump, and it had everything I needed. All right, I think that's good. Now, what I need to do, I need to start doing the opposite of what I did before. I need to put the tube back in. The first thing we need to look for is this valve stem hole, because if you put it in wrong, you're going to damage your tire. So what you need to do, you need to look for it. You'll see this. There's a hole on the inside with the rubber lining. The rubber lining is not attached to the tire, so you need to make sure that they both line up, both holes, so you can see directly on the inside. How am I doing for time? All right. Now, to get it in, you just put it in a little bit, so the little metal bit's there, and then you ease it in. You don't want to force it because it is thin rubber. You also want to make sure that the valve stem is coming straight out and not bent, because if it's bent, you're going to damage the tire. There's a lot of things that you can do wrong here, but it's pretty easy once you get the method down. Now, to get the tube back in, I like to put my hand on this side and push this, and then stick the tube up in the rim. You need to make sure the tube doesn't twist, or that the tube stays up there. Because if it comes out and you reinflate, you're going to be in some trouble. It's a pretty simple process. It took me about 6 tries to figure out what I need to do by memory. That's why I don't have any note cards. And you're going to have more than 8 minutes on the side of the road if you're in the middle of nowhere. Some people ask, how do you keep the patch kit with you? Well, there's little attachments that you can get for your bike at bike shops, where it just sits on the other side of the bar. So it'll sit there, and whenever you need it, it'll be good. Now, this is taking a little longer than I expected, so I'm just going to start. Yeah, this is going to take longer than I expected. It's a lot easier when it's deflated. I probably should have deflated it all the way, and it will be when you're on the side of the road with a flat tire. Now that it's in, I take my lead pry bars, I flip it around this time, opposite way to what you did, and I start to stick it on to the rim, stick like the actual tire itself. And once this is back on, you can reinflate it, and you can be on your way. And that's how you fix a flat tire.